Hey everybody, it's Audrey. Thanks for stopping by my channel today. I have another page for the cut shop using an adorable cut file called World of Octobers. So this is a phrase with a little leaf in the bottom, and I'm going to kind of separate this whole file apart a little bit because I have two 3x4 photos that I want to squeeze in on the bottom. So I'm going to draw my rectangles in Silhouette Studio and kind of place them where I think they're going to fit here. And I know that the word October at the bottom there, I don't really want to overlap my photos too much because of the detail in my photos. So I want to move that down a little bit. And actually I'm going to make that a little bit bigger too because I want it to kind of stand out. So I'll just arrange that, and I love doing this because it really helps me cut the file to the exact size that I want. I also opened up this other file from the cut shop. I thought perhaps I was going to use this leaf and cut out some leaves to put on my page as well, but because the words took up so much space, I ended up just cutting out, which you will see, a few leaves from some patterned paper. So I just fussy cut some leaves instead, but I was playing around with outlining this leaf shape so I could just get the lines of the leaf, and I had set it all up to cut a whole bunch, so I'll put them on. But even though I don't use these exact leaves and cut them out, it still again helps me with my page design, so I can kind of play around with my design before I actually get to the cutting and pasting and gluing. Okay, so on a separate file, I'm going to cut, well, I think I'm going to cut out these leaves. So I just copy and paste those, and I do a couple big ones, a couple small ones. And I think that is it. I'm trying to space them here so when I cut my papers, I can cut them, either 3x2 or 2x2. So there is the file all cut out, and I had placed my two photos there for a second, kind of just to gauge the size. And sometimes I leave my file on my sticky mat and put the gesso over the top of it, but I wasn't sure I was going to do mixed media on this, so I started peeling it off, and then I thought that I really wanted to, so I'm going to go back through with some gesso and just put some gesso over the bottom and kind of up the center of the words, because that's where I'm going to do my mixed media. And I am using some of the Lindy's Stamp Gang sprays. I love this kind of mustardy gold. I can't remember the name of the color, but it's a beautiful gold color. This came in a Hip Kit Club kit. And I am going to combine it with, there's kind of a pinkish color that came as well, and that makes orange, of course. So I love the orange shade that forms there. And then I'm going to go back with some more yellow on the bottom. So I keep working my way up, kind of transitioning from the yellow to the orange, then the orange to the pink, and then finally the pink to the purple at the top. And I'm just I could have used like packaging or something, but I was just going through with kind of a damp, kind of wet brush and just adding the color that way. A few splatters, and this purple, by the way, is so pretty because it has some like teal blue shimmer in it. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's really, really nice. Okay, so once that is dry, I am going to back every single letter here, and I'm going to use this piece of paper came from either the August or September Hip Kit Club kit. It is from Paige Evans' Truly Grateful collection, which I absolutely love this collection. The colors and the patterns in it are just perfect for fall pages. So I'm going to stick with the kind of the pinks and the oranges and the purples. I do use a little bit of yellow and just one kind of green because my photos had some green in them, so I wanted to maybe just bring a little bit of green into some of the letters. And I'm not going to show you this whole process because I'm sure you know how to do this if you used a cut file before. I'm just going to use some glue on the back of each letter with my fine line glue, and then just cut out a little scrap, put it over, voila. So yeah, not rocket science. So again, I'm just going to show you a couple. And I'm just trying to, sometimes it's funny because as I was doing this, I started going by letter, But then sometimes I approach it by kind of, going down to a different word towards the bottom and putting a strong color there and kind of trying to go through and balance all my colors instead of going one letter at a time in order. So I ended up doing that, kind of skipping around, backing them with different colors. So I picked this kind of peach color paper to back my photos because it kind of matched where they were on the page, kind of that peach and yellow background there. And I'll distress the edges a little bit. And now I am going to fussy cut out some leaves from this paper, which I'm pretty sure if you own this paper, you've probably fussy cut leaves from it because everybody I've seen use this paper has just cut the leaves out of it. So I'd be interested to see somebody use this piece of paper as it is without fussy cutting something from it. So I'm just going to cut some of these different colors. They go perfectly with the colors I had put in the background with my inks. And you can see I cut out the word Octobers there from this deep purple cardstock, which is so pretty. That also came in a recent Hip Kit Club kit. And it matches some of the purple leaves really nicely. And I've scattered some of the leaves over the page. I can't remember how many I cut out, maybe 8 or 9 leaves. And, I started looking for other embellishments, like what else am I going to add? I was going through these kits that I absolutely love, but I just haven't used much, and I have so much stuff because I tend to buy all the add-ons. So I'm looking maybe for little phrases to add to my photos or, just a few little stickers. But I don't really end up adding too much more because, with the mixed media and a huge title like this and a different color paper behind every letter, it can get busy really fast. So sometimes just leaving it as is and letting the cut file and the paper stand on its own is the best thing to do, and that's pretty much what I end up doing. I am going to pop off my title here. I raised my photos up, so I'm going to raise my title up a little bit. And I'm just kind of cutting some of my foam squares to fit. And I don't know if these foam squares are old or what, but gosh, these little paper backings were such a pain to tear off for some reason. Okay, I'll center that. There it is. So these photos, every fall we take a trip to the Adirondacks and we rent a different cabin somewhere. Usually at the peak foliage weekend. It's absolutely beautiful. And this particular cabin had the river running right through the back yard, and the kids played on the rocks like constantly. And so I snapped, of course, a whole bunch of pictures. I love these pictures because one of them, my son's in the foreground, the other one, and my daughter's in the background, and the other one's my daughter's in the foreground, my son's in the background, so we kind of switched places a little bit, and I just thought they were really cute. So here are the few other little stickers I add, just a couple little mushrooms, which, oh my gosh, I love these mushrooms, so adorable. Along the sides of the photos, in the same kind of colors that I have with the leaves and the words. I'll add a few hearts in the middle of some of the letters here. And let's see, I put some, yeah, see, look at how gorgeous all this stuff is from these kits. Gosh, there's just so much amazing stuff to choose from. Some of those, when you use some of those die cut packs and stuff, you don't even really need much paper because, the die cuts, again, just speak for themselves. So I had that little round circle tab that says love, and then I felt like I needed something else on the other photo, so I ended up switching them around. I'm going to use a label sticker on the right side photo for the date, and then a little love sticker on the left. And just my last little touch, well, actually not my last little touch, but I thought maybe I would add some sequins. So it's kind of a sequins here. I'm using a color that kind of matches. So it's not, entirely a standout embellishment, but it does add a little sparkle and shine. And I just go through with a little dab of glue and pick up some sequins with my fingers. And then the very last thing I do is I went through and I am going to add some machine stitching underneath my leaves. I just used a white thread. I didn't want to use a dark thread to take away from a lot of the design. So you can see some of the stitching there in the leaves. You'll see it in the close-ups. And then a little bit of journaling on the bottom. And that does it. So there you can see a little bit of everything there. The fussy cutting, the die cutting, the stitching, the mixed media. So this was a super fun page. I love using a title as the standout element, and Ashley has a lot of those in the Cut Shop store, so be sure to go check them out. So thank you so much for stopping by and watching my video today, and stay scrappy, friends.